Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lugo. Thank you so much for tuning in. Right now, we're talking about the Jaguars divisional round matchup. It is official. The Jaguars will be heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs at Arrowhead this Saturday, 4:30 p.m. divisional round. Jaguars, the 4 seed, taking on the AFC's top seed, the Kansas City Chiefs. We've got NBC, Mike Tirico, and Chris Collinsworth on the call. Hopefully should be a better call than what I've heard we had last weekend, but that's neither here nor there. Second bout this year between the two teams, right? The Jaguars, they went to Kansas City earlier in the year, middle of the season. They weren't able to pick up a win in Kansas City. A lot of mistakes, a lot of stuff that they needed to clean up in that one. But it's another level up for these Jaguars. Can they handle it? They took care of the Chargers despite a lot going against them, despite all the odds favoring the Chargers in a lot of different ways throughout that game, going down 27-0, not being able to force a turnover, committing 5 turnovers of your own. You were 2 for 10 on third down conversions, while the Chargers were 8 of 17. Everything pointed to the Chargers winning that game, but the Jaguars were able to get the job done in the end. And now you've got Doug Peterson going up against his mentor, Andy Reid, a guy that he has spent a lot of time with professionally as a quarterback and as an assistant coach. Now they will square off once again. Andy got the better of Doug a little bit last time. The final score was 27-17. But two of the very best offensive coaches in the game today. They will not be calling plays against each other, right? But you've got two capable defensive coordinators on the other side, in my opinion. Obviously, Andy Reid has Steve Spagnuolo, who is a Super Bowl defensive coordinator, a guy who's been around a long time, won a lot of Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator, 3, in fact, between the Giants and the Chiefs. And, of course, the Jaguars have Mike Caldwell, who has really turned a corner over the last couple months and gotten this Jaguars defense playing at a lot higher clip. But the coaching matchup that everyone's excited about, it's Doug calling plays, it's Andy Reid calling plays, and they've got two of the brightest stars in the league. Patrick Mahomes is probably the top star in the league today. For me, he certainly is the top quarterback in the league. He is excellent from within structure. He's a magician when he gets outside of the pocket, makes some of the best throws and improvisational plays that you will ever see. One of the best players, one of my favorite players in the league, and of course we won't be rooting for him this week, but he's going to be going up against another young star, an up-and-coming quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, he's arrived, right? Trevor Lawrence is still on his way to the top. Took out Justin Herbert last week. Had just a masterful second half. And he's had a great second year under Doug Peterson, the second largest leap in quarterback rating from year 1 to year 2 of all time. Doug Peterson's got a huge part to play in that, and so does Trevor Lawrence, who has put himself in a position to look like a young quarterback who's absolutely a franchise quarterback. You had people questioning him earlier this year. Is he the guy? Is he a bust? All that talk has been put to bed. Trevor Lawrence is the franchise quarterback in Jacksonville, and he should be for a long time. The pairing of him and Doug Peterson is going to be rivaled by very few throughout the league, but one of those teams that they're going to have to prove that they can beat over these next years is the Kansas City Chiefs, is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Looking at the other AFC divisional round matchup, right, we're now down to 4 teams in the AFC, 4 teams in the NFC. You've also got the Bengals traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills this weekend. So the winner of these two contests, those two teams, they will meet each other in the AFC title game, the AFC Championship. Jaguars are looking to get there for the first time since 2017. It has been a ugly stretch of football outside of 2017 and 2022 for the Jaguars over the last decade plus. But looks like the Jags are starting to move in the right direction, clearly with Doug Peterson at the helm, Trevor Lawrence throwing the football around the yard out there. So, look, the Jags, we all know and love them. They are an up-and-coming team. They are hot. They have won 6 games in a row. They have won 8 of their last 9, I believe. Like, this is a team that is playing, in terms of winning football, as much winning football as anyone else in the league right now. They have been incredibly hot, and they're doing it with all three phases: offense, defense, special teams. But the Jags, no one's going to pick the Jags in this one. They're 8.5-point road dogs right now, over under 51.5. So Vegas is expecting some points, but they're expecting the Chiefs to take care of business against the Jaguars, and it's hard to blame anyone for taking the Chiefs. Even in this winning streak, the Jaguars have been so topsy-turvy and so up and down. They have highs and lows. They get down big. They make epic comebacks. None more so than the one in the wild card round against the Los Angeles Chargers. So when you talked about that game, the Jaguars were at home. They were the division champs. They were the AFC South champs going up against a wild card team in Los Angeles. That was a push. I know that the Chargers were favored by a little bit, but that game was really a push. It was looked at by many, including myself, as the closest matchup on paper of the wild card round. It ended up being just that, and it was a fantastic, epic game, right? Devastating first half followed up by the most glorious second half in Jaguars history. But this time, everyone is going to be on the Chiefs, and it's fair. They are the 1 seed. They have been the most dominant team in the AFC for seems like the last half decade, with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid leading the charge over there. One of the best coaches in football from a leadership standpoint and from an X's and O's standpoint on the offensive side of the ball. The best quarterback in football. A bunch of talent across this roster on both sides. This is going to be the ultimate test, the ultimate boss fight for these young Jaguars, right? The Chiefs beat you down once in Kansas City. Can you go back and take care of business this time? Last time around, Trevor, he had a really big outing despite his offensive line struggling to slow down Chris Jones and company. Could have been an even bigger performance for Trevor Lawrence, a game that could have been even closer. Again, it was 27-17, but for a couple silly mistakes, a drop here early in the game by Christian Kirk, a couple illegal man downfield there. You have Cam Robinson negating a touchdown, getting down the field. And you lose a bunch of points that way. And so the Jaguars, I'm not saying they have to play a clean game because you just saw them win a damn game despite committing 5 turnovers and not getting any of their own. But they're going to have to play their best game, whatever that looks like. If the offense needs the defense to pick up the slack, you need that to happen, and vice versa. And the special teams has got to play a big factor. Again, special teams has been huge for the Jaguars down the stretch, with Logan Cook and Riley Patterson both kicking the ball incredibly well, punter and kicker respectively, and Jamal Agnew looking like that Jamal Agnew, the guy you brought in who was the best return man in the game. He has been that over the last month or so. And so the Jags, they've got the ingredients to play a complete game, but they have rarely done that in 2022. They're going to have to play their best game yet to have a chance to take down Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid in Arrowhead. It's going to be an insane environment. As loud as Jacksonville has been the last 2 weeks for their Jaguars, going into Arrowhead is a completely different beast, and it's something that has not gone well for the Jaguars in recent years. But they've got their chance here. They've got their chance to prove to the world we have arrived. Like, if you go beat the Kansas City Chiefs, you've arrived. You go into next year, and there's going to be people picking you to win the AFC. That's just the bottom line. That's how big this game is. And it's not just big from a media perspective standpoint. It's huge because if you win this football game, you punch your ticket to the AFC South, or the AFC title game, against the Bills or Bengals. It'll be another incredible matchup between, whether the Jaguars or Chiefs win this game. AFC South or AFC title. I don't know why I'm trying to stick South in there so often here, but the AFC title game is going to be between two fantastic quarterbacks, two fantastic football teams, regardless of who gets in, because you've got Trevor Lawrence left, you've got Patrick Mahomes left, you've got Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, 4 of the best quarterbacks in football today. It's going to be a hell of a Final Four in the AFC, and then you've also got to take a look at what's going on the NFC side of things. You've got some big-time matchups there as well. You've got San Francisco and Dallas. You've also got New York and Philadelphia. Confirming that those matchups are correct, so I'm not leading y'all astray here. Excuse me. Buccaneers and Cowboys. Tonight, 8:15. The winner of that will go take on the San Francisco 49ers, and you've also got the Giants who are going to take on, like I said, their division rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, next weekend. So final 8 teams: New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles. You've still got the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to punch their ticket into the final 8. And then on the AFC side, you've got Bills, Bengals, Jaguars, Chiefs. Does not get much better than this. Jacksonville, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Appreciate your support. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo. Let me know what you think about the Jags matchup with the Chiefs. You can also follow Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. Hit that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. You can hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss a show on here. Links in the description below to the genjag.com/shop, where we've got our Division Champ shirts out, and then you can also check out our channel membership here right on YouTube, where you can get some cool perks, including discounts at genjag.com. So check it out. Appreciate y'all's support. Enjoy the rest of your Victory Monday, Duval. We'll be back at it later, breaking down in depth Jaguars versus Chargers. How did the Jaguars complete that epic comeback? We'll talk about it more throughout the rest of this week. We'll preview Jaguars at Chiefs. We'll get into all of it. It's going to be a really fun week. Another really fun week here in Duval County. Again, thank you so much for your support, Duval, and have a great rest of your Victory Monday.